Stefano Manicardi kommt aus der Region Emilia-Romagna in Norditalien. Diese Region hat das volle Ausmaß von Covid-19 miterlebt. Wir fragen nach, wie es ihm und seiner Familie zu Beginn der Corona-Pandemie erging und wie es ihm jetzt geht. Hallo, Herr Manicardi. Unsere Zuschauer kennen bereits die eingeleitete Frage, die wir allen unseren Interviewpartnern stellen. Wie geht es denn Ihnen und Ihrer Familie?
Hello. We are okay. I have to say we were a little bit unprepared for the situation, but slower and slower with some steps, me and my family, we're starting to get used about the situation. And now we are okay, like most of the people in Italy.
Sprechen wir zuerst über die erste Welle. Italien war das erste europäische Land mit diesen enormen Auswirkungen des Coronavirus. Was denken Sie über die ganze Dramatik in dieser Zeit?
Well, frankly, as I said, we were everybody a little bit shocked about the beginning and the urgent measures that the government has gave to all the population since March. But I think everybody is doing its own best to be in this situation and managing the situation in the best way. We trust everybody in Italy what the governments and the European government is doing as guidelines, security lines for safety, especially for the elders, which are the most affected ones. And we are getting used about all these security measures that we have, like the masks, like the distance or the social distance. And slower and slower we are getting used of this.
Sie leben in einer der Kernregionen der Krise, der Emilia-Romagna. Sie haben dort auch Ihre Familie. Was waren Ihre ersten Gedanken, als Sie von dieser Bedrohung erfuhren?
Well, you have to know that Emilia-Romagna, which is really straight connected both to Austria and Germany, is one of the most rich country area in Italy. At the same time, is also one of the most polluted area. Everybody of us is aware that these kind of benefits we have being in a land where industry is strong, where welfare is good, where everybody has a sustainable job, we had also to pay a price, which is the pollution we have in our land. Now the point is to turn in a different way of thinking, to carry on with our wellness, to carry on with our industrialization, but keeping a very straight eye to pollution and green protection and protection of the environment.
Die Statistiken geben einen dramatischen Überblick über die gesamte Situation. Fast 250.000 Infizierte und mehr als 35.000 Verstorbene aufgrund des Virus. Gab es Angst und Wut bei Ihnen?
Yes, unfortunately, at the beginning we were very scared, and everybody in our village has some relative which is old or in a situation that might put them at risk. But as I said, the hospitals in our land and the doctors were very prepared to manage after a few weeks of emergency that of course occurred, unfortunately. But after this time, we were prepared to manage the situation thanks to the government and thanks to European help that arrived to our country.
Keine Schule, kein Leben im Freien, kein Spiel mit Freunden. Wie haben Ihre Kinder diese besondere Situation erlebt?
In the beginning, when we started homeschool and classroom, it was very funny because we were thinking everybody to be well connected and with a very nice infrastructure for the internet connection. And it was very funny because the first day we started this, the entire grid collapsed and everybody was off grid, unfortunately. But as I said, we were able to manage, and yes, sooner after these little bit difficult problems to be solved, we managed to put children at school. And I'm very happy to say that my children and also their friends were very disciplined to follow homeschool and lessons also online. Yes, they are looking forward to go back in the soccer ground, to play volleyball, to go to the horse and in the countryside generally. And in these weeks, they are starting to enjoy, like in the past, to play games outdoor.
In Bezug auf Ihre Arbeit sind Sie es gewohnt, sehr viel zu reisen. Wie war der Einfluss auf Ihren Arbeitsmodus?
In the beginning, I was a little bit scared, but after a few weeks, I realized that everybody of us who is professionally entitled to travel all around the world is in the same situation. As I said, I have the feeling that it's not anymore sustainable to be like a ping pong ball traveling intercontinental flights and making a lot of pollution in air. We will still have to meet personally and to carry on business meeting personal people. But fortunately, technology helps us to prepare the most important meetings which we will need to carry on doing. But technology again helps us to prepare that, and we can make so many things remote connected with new systems, and everybody is in the same situation. So thanks God, we have to use our brain and find different ways.
Und was die Sperre in Italien überhaupt betrifft, wie groß war die Krise in Italien?
Italian economy is very differentiated, as you might know if you know a little bit about Italy. Italy is a big country, and of course, not all the areas are the same. I am lucky to live in northern Italy, which is very close to the rest of Europe as industrialization and wellness. Of course, there are problems, but I think the government has done good steps, also negotiating difficult issues with the European community. And I'm very grateful both to the Prime Minister of Austria and Mrs. Angela Merkel for the effort they did to support Italy to raise the necessary resources to establish a recovery plan for the next years.
Nach allgemeiner Meinung reagierte Italien viel zu spät auf die zunehmende Zahl von Infizierten. Hat die Regierung in Ihren Augen die richtige Entscheidung in Italien getroffen, um gegen Corona anzukämpfen?
We have to tell you that the most important area in Italy, both for industry, commercially wise, and also as infrastructure, is Lombardia, which, as you know, is the one who had the most worst problem for this pandemic. Everybody was unprepared, and everybody couldn't really know what was going on. I think after the beginning, the last few weeks, the government took the right steps and took the right decision to make the lockdown, which of course was not easy to force, because as Italian we are not very educated to follow so strictly very difficult lines. But I was surprised that everybody after these were very disciplined, and I think yes, it's very difficult to imagine a different reaction by any government in that kind of situation if I think of March or April of this year.
Aus den Nachrichten wissen wir, dass besonders der Tourismus sehr stark betroffen ist. Die berühmten Städte wie Mailand, Rom, Florenz und auch Venedig sind fast menschenleer. Was bedeutet das für diese Tourismuszentren?
I think it's a chance for those areas to rebuild a new strategy for the next 30 or even 50 years. Thanks God, sooner or later the pandemic will be defeated. But then we have to think about a new way to attract tourism. Maybe more ecological sustainability tourism, green tourism with more quality and also focusing more on what we have good, like heritage situation, like landscape, cultural attraction. And I'm sure that all those operators which are expert in tourism industry will be able to satisfy the welcome tourism from rest of Europe and worldwide.
In Mitteleuropa haben wir Angst vor einer möglichen zweiten Covid-Welle. Wie wir in unserem letzten Interview gehört haben, befindet sich Israel bereits mitten in diesem Szenario. Glauben Sie, dass dies auch in Italien geschehen wird, sobald der Tourismus wieder zunimmt?
I think we have to define two different kind of borders. One border is the European one. One other border is the barrier between worldwide tourism or worldwide visitors to Europe and then to Italy. I think the most sustainable way to protect our people and everybody is to make in two steps. First, to keep open borders inside Europe with France, Austria, former Yugoslavia, and other countries in Europe. And then once the vaccine is found or medical treatment is found, to start get people also from abroad out of Europe.
In Deutschland, Österreich, Israel und vielen anderen Ländern haben die Regierungen eine sogenannte Tracking-App eingeführt. Gibt es in Italien etwas Ähnliches?
There is a big discussion about this app and its consequence about privacy. Until now, there is nothing mandatory, but also have to say people is very on the line to leave medical organization and also policy organization to let be known on where they are. So on one side, yes, we are a little bit late, but on the other side, there is an increased discipline by everybody.
Nun zur Wirtschaft. Kommt Ihrer Meinung nach eine neue Wirtschaftskrise, wie viele Experten es derzeit ja auch skizzieren? Was sind Ihre Prognosen und auch Ihre Erwartungen für das nächste Jahr?
I think we have to be optimistic. I think Northern Italy especially has all the capacity and resources to recover. Definitely we have to think both in Italy and Europe to restructure our economy in a more sustainability way. Green economy might run a growth, sustainable growth for us, and to give also wellness to our children and everybody in our countries.
Meine letzte Frage ist wieder sehr persönlich. Wenn Sie einen Wunsch hätten, um was würden Sie die gute Fee bitten?
I would ask to be calm, everybody. I would ask to keep our eyes in a bright future, especially if we focus on friendship between nations inside Europe, friendship between nations outside Europe. And if human being is cooperative, I'm sure that the future will be very good. This is my only wish.
Dann sage ich vielen herzlichen Dank für Ihre Zeit. Bleiben Sie gesund und viele Grüße nach Italien.
Thank you.